G'day people, it's your Uncle Cam here. I've been asked by your friendly neighbourhood Cycling Queensland President Bear to have a bit of a chat to you due to the sudden influx in bicycle purchasing across Queensland and Australia, which is just bloody great to see. And it's unfortunate that we've had to have a worldwide pandemic for everyone to realise the benefits of cycling, but we're here now, so let's get on with it. I've got a short list here. I'm going to get in super early and tell you that I could probably sit here for the rest of lockdown explaining even the basic ins and outs of cycling, but he's given me a pretty short list of just a couple of things to cover for the absolute beginner. The person that probably hasn't ridden their bike in 10 years and they just went down the shop last week and got some tubes and some tyres and got a mate to put them on, or the person who's decided to shoot down the local bike store and get themselves a new bike, or get their partner a new bike, or their kids a new bike, or whoever. But you know, if you're a person who's got a bike, new or old, and you're about to take it out and you haven't been out ever or recently, there's a couple of things we really got to cover. So stick with us. I'm going to get through this. If you find that this is at all informative and you want to throw some questions in the comments or request something be dealt with specifically, by all means throw them in there. And if we get a bit of interest, man, I'll do another one. It's cool. Bear's paying me $45,000 an episode, so I can make time. Cool. All right, let's go. So here's the first thing. Here's the very first thing we got to talk about. If you just went and bought a second-hand bike, yeah, ring up your local bike store, take it down there and get them to give it a service, okay? If you're not experienced with bikes, even if you are experienced with bikes, to be honest, there's things that can lurk in there and you just won't see it, and it's not obvious, and it can make or break your day, okay? So you're probably going to be talking under $100 to go and get your bike service, just a basic service where they'll check the brakes, you know, check the cabling, grease and oil where it needs it, okay? It's worth the money. This is the comparison I always make. If you fell on your face, how much did you think it would cost to get your teeth fixed? More than $100? Get the bike service done. Cool? Piece of cake. Here's the next one. You went out and bought yourself a brand new bike. You bought your wife or your kids or your girlfriend or your boyfriend a brand new bike. Good for you. You're a good person. Alright? And something that's going to come with that new bike is it's going to have the 1 month free service, yeah? Which, if you did this a couple of weeks ago, is going to be coming up pretty soon. Go get your free service, okay? It's worth it. They're going to do things that you don't know about. Cool? That's why they work in a bike shop and you don't. All right? There's super simple things that are going to happen. All right? Things like cables. Yeah? Cables over a bit of use are going to seat in the slots a little bit better than when the mechanic first put the bike together, alright? Which means if it's sat in a tiny little bit more, okay, that means there's a little bit of play in the system. Cool? It's perfectly normal. There's a whole bunch of other things as well that are going to happen once you start putting loads into a bicycle, alright? That's why they want to get you back after that first month. Cool? So it's been running. They can just give it a little bit of a check over, make sure it's cool, and send you on your way. Same deal. Does it pass the front teeth test? Is it worth not doing the half a day exercise to get a bike and then pick it up and bring it home, or whatever you got to do? Is it worth it to keep your front teeth? 100% yes. So please, take the bike back. You might even find you start a bit of a relationship with the person at the shop. You start to get to know them. You know what I mean? You'll be able to give them a call. Hey man, my bike's got a little tick when I'm in the big ring, and the little guy in the back. What's the story? Start to get a bit of a rapport going. Same as you do with your buddy, with your butcher or your hairdresser or anyone, man. Cool. Get your bike service. Sweet. Right, next. Here's a big one. And like I said, I've got a couple of things on the list, yeah? This list, I could go for weeks. Just gonna hit a few key targets, all right? Next one, tyre pressure. How much pressure should I put in my tyres? Here's the general rule of thumb, all right? If you got like a roadie bike like this and it's got drop bars on it, generally speaking, generally speaking, you got a little tyre. It's going to be like Bunnings sausage sized tyre, yeah? Yours may blow out a little bit to gourmet sausage style tyre, alright? But generally speaking, alright, you want to run between 10 and 20% less than the maximum, alright? These guys, almost all the little skinny road bike tyres, generally speaking, they almost always say 120 PSI is the maximum, alright? So we're going to take 10 to 20% off that, alright? So if it was 120 PSI was the max, 10% of that is 12 PSI, 12 to 15 PSI if we started moving up. So if we took 15 PSI away from 120 PSI, we're down to about 105 PSI, yeah? Which is going to be pretty great, alright? You can put 120 in if you want, but your bike is probably going to handle like a skateboard, alright? It's not going to be as comfortable as it could be. And, contrary to popular belief, the higher the tyre pressure does not equal lower rolling resistance. Fight me in the comments if you want. Cool. Now, let's pretend for a minute that you don't have a little skinny Racer Bro tyre. Let's pretend you've got gourmet sausage size tyre. Generally speaking again, because there's a million different tyres, alright, and a million different sizes and applications. Generally speaking, the big fat ones are going to say 70 PSI. It's probably the most you can put in it. Cool? So let's take off 10 to 20%, which is about 7 to 12 PSI. Which gets us down to 60 PSI, cool? Which I think, personally, is probably still a little bit high. If you find your bike, if you've got like a mountain bike with a semi-smooth tyre on it, 40 to 50 PSI is heaps, okay? If you've been riding road bikes, that's gonna feel a little squishy. It's gonna be a bit difficult to get used to, but that's okay, all right? But that little bit of squish, that little bit of give, that's comfort, okay? And since we're talking about rolling resistance, if you're riding on a rough surface like Queensland roads, okay, or you're going on and off footpaths, or maybe you're going to go on a little bit of a bike path and then you've got to zoom onto the grass because there's lots of kids and families getting around, that lower pressure is going to make your life so much better. Your bum will love you for it, okay? So just run them 10 to 20% under the maximum and then fiddle with it from there. Like I said, this is for the day one people, okay? Cool. Alright, here's a big one. Okay? So, changing gears. Alright? I'm not gonna delve into the different types of gearing systems or where the changes take place because there's too many variables for me to possibly cover. There is one thing that is consistent with almost all geared bicycles, and that is you can't change gears when you're not pedaling, okay? Please don't do it. Someone's going to sit there and go, yeah, I can, watch this. And you're probably right. Here we go. So, we're not pedaling, and I'm going to change a few gears, okay? Now, let's just pretend you did that at the lights. This is what happens when you stand on it. Cool? With your weight on it, when you're leaning on it, and all that additional pressure here, and it's trying to jump over all of those gears, you are just making a mess of it. You're hurting your new bike, yeah? And if it's not your new bike, you just took a fair bit of life out of that nice second-hand bike that you bought, okay? So please, cool? If you just came down a big hill, this is a perfect example. You just came down a gigantic hill, you got a red light, you jumped on the brakes, and you pulled up nice and safe. Good for you. It goes green, and then you go, and you're still in the big gear, and you can't go, alright? So you start slamming down gears, and this thing's just going tang, 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 trying to get back to the gear that you want, alright? You are going to do this if you are new, and it is okay. I ride with people who've been doing this for years, and they still do it, so I wouldn't fuss yourself too much, alright? G'day. I am in my lounge room, in ISO, same as everyone else. Although I've just came home with some shopping, so thanks, babe. Moving on. So, So, talking about that, you're coming down the hill, the best thing you can do is just think a little bit ahead. Just start to shift down the gears and just turn the wheels over, alright? If you go to move away from the lights and you notice that you're in a gigantic gear, just one gear and just let it click, and then one gear and just let it click, alright? Just take your time and it'll be okay. Good. Alright, here we go. Here's a big one. Helmets, alright? I'm going to lie to you. I am definitely guilty of this along the way. I'm not now, I've learned my lesson and I'm wiser for it and safer. But here's the thing, helmets. Do not, please, do not buy the cheapo import helmet from China on eBay. Okay? They have different safety standards to us. Alright? And if you want to compare metal scaffolding to bamboo scaffolding, our safety standards are better. Okay? Now, you're not going to go and buy however much you're going to spend on your bike, okay, and then cheap out and get a $25 helmet, okay? Don't do it. Your helmet has to have a little Aussie standard sticker in it, alright? It's a little red sticker and it says Australian standards on it, and it's got about 20 ticks on it, okay? You can't peel those stickers off, cool? So if it doesn't have one in there, it doesn't meet Australian standards, okay? And you're probably better off riding around with a egg carton on your head. So don't. Spend the extra money. You can get helmets cheap, alright? I'm going to talk about where to get stuff for reasonable money, ISO safe, in a minute. We'll get to that, okay? Don't cheap out on the helmet. Don't be that guy. Alright, good. Next, helmets buying second hand. You can buy second hand helmets. You've got your Facebook marketplaces and all the groups and the Gumtrees, and even eBay for it is a fine example. If you're not experienced at looking at what is and what is not an okay condition helmet, don't take the risk. It's not worth it. Don't do it. Okay? You're not saving anything. Just go and get a good helmet. Alright? Look after yourself. Cool. Right. What are we on to next? Here's one. I got a little bit sideways here, but it's super important. I'm going to throw this one at you. And this is one for life, people. And there's a lot of people out there that I see riding. I saw one this morning down on Montague at West End. If you were the guy in the BMC shorts and the World Championships jersey, stop it. Alright? Knock it off. No World Championship jerseys. Unless you're an existing or a past World Champion, that white jersey with the stripes on it, it's reserved for people who went and did that. Don't be that guy. It's not cool. That was the second part. The first part is white cycling attire is an absolute no for everyone on earth. Okay? You know, you hear people say, like, unless you're Claudia Schiffer, you shouldn't be wearing white pants. It's a good rule because there's only one of her. Here's the next thing. If you are not Claudia Schiffer, don't wear white cycling kit. Ever. Ever. Okay? What you don't know is that we can all see your private parts, and we don't want to. Cool? No white cycling kit. Please. Thanks. While we're talking about kit, it's a big jump. If you're new in the cycling world, and we all were once upon a time, making the move to start wearing cycling kit, the Lycra, is a big move. Alright? You don't have to do it to start with. If you're not comfortable, good. You probably shouldn't be. I wasn't for a very long time. I started off wearing boardies and a t-shirt, cool, and from there I slowly moved into boardies and a cycling jersey. From there I moved to wearing Nicks, as we call them, which have the big padded bit, okay? Nicks under boardies, cycling jersey, and then maybe a year and a half or 2 years later, feeling very sheepish, I braved public in full Lycra. Alright? This is not something that has to happen overnight. This is not something that has to happen ever. You can, believe it or not, ride a bicycle without wearing full Lycra kit. Okay? So just keep that in mind. If If you're wanting to wear Nicks because you're finding it's a bit uncomfortable, and you will find it uncomfortable, okay? Your body is not used to riding around on one of these. It's going to take some getting used to. Same as anything. Same as a new pair of masseurs under your feet. They're a bit uncomfortable for a couple of weeks. You got to wear them in. You got to make friends with your feet. Yeah, it's the exact same thing with a bicycle. Okay, so don't think just because you've had 2 weeks of doing this and you're still not getting any more comfortable that it's not going to get better. It will get better. These things just take a little bit of time. Where I was going with that is the mountain bike industry as a whole basically says no to Lycra unless you're a racer bro, okay? But generally speaking, riding trails or a rail trail, for example, maybe going down to Daisy Hill is a good example of they're not gnarly downhill, jumpy type places. They're trail type places. That crew have mastered over the years normal looking shorts that have the Nicks and a tighter Lycra section inside of it, okay? So I'll cover a couple of places you can purchase in a minute, but that might be a really good first step, alright? Mountain bike shorts, MTB shorts, and any kind of moisture wicking shirt. There is a veritable smorgasbord available on the internet of this type of clothing. It won't be hard to find, okay? And the shorts are going to have the same sort of sizing conventions as your shorts. They're going to say 30, 32 waist or medium or something to that effect. So you'll have half a chance of getting the clothes that fit and are going to be comfortable first go, alright? Give that a try. Oh man, here's the hot tip. Here's the hot tip. And you're not going to believe me, but I'm telling you, you bought a bike, didn't you? And it's got this thick ass saddle. It's like this. It's big and it's luxurious and it looks squishy and comfortable, and it's got power gel or something written down the side of it. Yeah? Knock it off. It's not more comfortable than that. It's just not. It's just how it is. I'll prove it to you. Okay? Think about this. You ever watch a car race? See her in those skinny carbon fiber seats with no padding that fit really well to their bodies? Yeah? They pick that. What they don't do is get a bench seat out of a Kingswood and put a bean bag on it and then sit on that. You know why? Because it's not comfortable. It's not going to work. You're going to be sliding all over the seat. Yeah? It's not what you want. Cool? You want a saddle that is going to best fit your bum. Okay? And the surrounding areas. Now, that is going to be a whole other world of things we were talking about. Can you go and see someone and get a saddle fit? Yes, 100% you can do that. Plenty of bike shops around Brisbane will be able to help you out with a saddle fitting service. Does it make a difference? Oh yeah, it makes a huge difference. Took me a while to discover that this particular type of saddle is what works best for me, and now most all of my bikes have these types of saddles. My partner has this exact saddle. Hers is a different width than mine because her sit bones have a different width than mine. We went to the shop because we wanted to get the right saddle for the bike. We were at Studio de Vilo. If you're a Westie, you went down to Simon. Hey Simon, mate, need a saddle. And he's like, dude, here. Did the fit service for us. This is the type of saddle you need in this width, and it's going to work out great. And guess what? It did. We still use the same saddles. So thank you for that. Okay, here we go. We're almost to the end, and I feel I could have covered so much more, but there's just too much to cover. But here's something for you to think about, okay? If you are starving for content and you're new to this and you're just lapping it all up, something I used to watch a lot of on YouTube was something called the GCN show, Global Cycling Network. I have no affiliation with them. I just found it super helpful, and I kind of like the personalities that were on the old show. They've got a new crew running it now. I'm sure they do a fine job, but I liked the guys from back in the day. So if you find yourself at home with not much to do for a month, maybe check that out. Alright, GCN show. There's a million others. This is one that I liked, so I'm just going to throw it out there. In terms of getting more gear for your bike. Maybe you just got a bike and you want to go get some mountain bike shorts, or you want a different saddle, or you might need some lights, or maybe a head unit because you want to see how fast you're going, or you need to be able to see phone calls on your head unit or something like that. There are 2 places that I would recommend, well 3, okay? I'm going to give you 3. The first one is your local bike shop, okay? If you can, support local. That's the best thing to do, alright? Now, for a number of reasons, you might not be able to access your local bike shop, alright? That totally makes sense, alright? So here are my 2 go-to, online providers of cycling everything, alright? Number 1 is a place called Pushies Online, Pushys. The other one is Bike Bug, like squish a bug, Bike Bug. Why do I recommend those 2, Cam? Because they're both Australian companies, okay? That's why I recommend those 2. There is a plethora of other companies that will sell you cycling gear at a very good price that aren't in Australia. Plus there's just a million on there, so when you get on there it can be super intimidating about which one do I pick. Are they a reputable seller? Are they in this country? Am I going to wait 6 months for post? Like, there's so many things. I'm telling you right now, if you use Bike Bug or Pushies Online, you're probably going to have a great experience, alright? So just check them out first. And like I said there, Ozzy, so you'd be supporting locals, you'd be, you'd just be a happy little Vegemite, so good for you. What else have I got to cover? Look, there's not a lot else to cover. Get your bike serviced. If you bought a second-hand one, get your bike serviced. Alright, just go and get them to check it out. Okay? Tyre pressure. Don't run the max pressure. It's not faster and it's not the most comfortable. 10 to 20% under, whatever the max says on there. Okay? While we're talking about tyres, alright? If you look at your tyres and it kind of looks like the desert, yeah, and it's all cracked and faded and dry, replace your tyres, okay? Because when they start to get of that age, they generally don't just, slowly depart their service. What they do is fail catastrophically instantly, alright? Remember when we spoke about your front teeth? Yeah, worth more than $100 because you'll get 2 tyres for less than $100. So replace your tyres if you need to. Maybe that's the next video we could do. We could go, Cam, how the hell do I get new tubes and tyres? Did it for a mate literally yesterday. Had an old mountain bike sitting under the house, needed new tyres, he brought some tyres and tubes around and we sat down and we did it, and it was a great old experience. Of course we did it with 1.5 metres gap between us and only 2 visitors at a time, so don't try and pull me up on it. Cheers. Okay, I think that's about it for now. Like I said, if there's more you want to know, hit us in the comments. We'll try to either answer the questions, or if we get enough people asking, man, I'll do another video. Like you, I've got nowhere to be. Okay? So, if you're watching this, you're new to the bike world, just bloody good on you. Well done. Congratulations on your new purchase. It's going to give you a lifetime of good vibes. I'm telling you right now, it might even save your life. These things, they're bloody fantastic. Here's a fun fact for you, bet you didn't know this. A human riding a modern bicycle, is the most efficient body being moved on Earth. More efficient than birds flying in updrafts. Google it. Happened. You could be one of the most efficient beings on Earth just by moving yourself around on a bicycle. So there you go. Why wouldn't you want one? Yeah? Get your bike, go for a ride, be good, okay? Just because you have the right to be on the road, okay, that doesn't mean that you have the right to wreck someone else's day, and vice versa. Just because a car driver has the right to be on the road doesn't give them the right to wreck your day, okay? Here's a key piece of information you need to remember, alright? You are responsible for maintaining your own life vessel, alright? That's your job, okay? As Mum would have said, there's no point being dead right, Cam. Yeah, so thanks Mum, just pass that one on to the masses. Good on ya. Do the right thing, keep left where you can. If you see little kids on the path and they're wiggling all over the path, that's what kids do. Just slow down. Yeah, slow down. Go around them. Go on the grass. You got a big fancy bike like this, guess what? It goes on the grass. Yeah, if it rains, you know what happens? Nothing. It gets wet. It's waterproof. It's made out of hard things. It's fine. Alright? I think we're good. Be good out there. Take care of yourself. Wear a good helmet. I think that's about it for now. This is another one take wonder with Cam Cam, courtesy of Bear, Cycling Queensland. I'm gonna get out of here. Have a good one. Cheers.